Hi everybody, it is Tuesday, July 17th, 2012. Thanks for stopping by. I've been watching videos by Stealth Badger talking about atheism and the atheist community and how there's, well, I don't know if this is his main point or not, but he seems to be noticing the fact that there's a lot of bigotry and a lot of hate against religious people. And there's a very simple elemental truth here that seems to be going unnoticed, and so I want to try to bring it up and to explain it to people, because it's a very important truth to grasp. No matter what you believe, whether you're religious or whether you're an atheist, no matter what political ideology you subscribe to, there's a very basic elemental truth that you must understand if you want to understand yourself and others. People are individuals, but on some levels, people are very much alike. No matter where you go, no matter who you talk to, people are all fundamentally, in certain ways, the same. And we tend to have two very big misconceptions. All of us. I mean, this is a human failing. It's not particular to any one group. But we tend to have these two basic misconceptions, and that is, number one, that evil is an external force that we can eradicate from the world. And number two is that we are different and special, that we have advanced our knowledge in some way. Our particular ideology, religion, lack of religion, whatever it may be, has some sort of, perfection, some sort of unique truth that people need to have in order to become better. If you look at Christians, they believe that their religion makes people moral, makes people better people, gets people into heaven. If you look at Muslims, it's the same way. They believe that their religion makes people better. Jews, they believe their religion makes people better. Hindus, Sikhs. Republicans believe you're better if you're a Republican. Democrats believe you're better if you're a Democrat. And atheists believe that you're a better person if you're an atheist. Now, every single religion, every single political group down through history has looked at the world and said, oh my God, look at these fucked up people. Look at the things that they're doing. They don't understand things the way I understand them. So, here's the problems I see with these people. They're worshiping a giant aardvark, and really it's a giant three-toed sloth they need to be worshiping, and that would make them better people. They will stop fighting these ridiculous wars if they just understand that they need to worship my animal instead of their animal. And atheists are no different. Atheists look at all these people that are all screwed up and they say, oh my God, they're screwed up. If they just stop believing in this God, then they will be like me and they'll be happy, and they won't start fighting wars. They won't start hating people. They won't be all screwed up in other sorts of ways. They will be happy like me if they would just stop believing in God. So, it's important to understand the fact that Atheists are not fundamentally different than religious people. Religious people are not fundamentally different from each other. We just, we view, each of us ascribes the external evil that we see in the world to different sources. And in all cases, that evil is really inside ourselves. It's inside every single one of us. It's not inside the Christians or the Jews or the Muslims or the atheists. It's not an external force that we can eradicate. That's what a lot of even, prominent, famous intellectuals seem to be failing to understand. They believe that if they can eradicate these religions from the world, that suddenly violence and the other vices that we're prone to would disappear, but they won't. If you got rid of all religions and everyone was atheist, you would still see the exact same amount of screwed up crap in the world. You just have a different excuse for it. That's the only difference. Okay? So, the evil in the world is not external. And atheists are not fundamentally different from anybody else. It's just as likely for an atheist to be bigoted or prejudiced as it is for a Christian or any other religion. So it's entirely expected for people like Thunderfool to start running off at the mouth talking about genocide, even though he's, supposedly rational and scientific and all that. He's just as irrational and emotional as any fundamentalist, and just as certain of his own correctness. He's just as certain that he's right as Osama bin Laden or George W. Bush was certain that they were right. And again, I mean, he's not fundamentally different from the people that he's attacking. He's just an example of one of the people that's rather a bad example. Like Thunderfool could be exactly equivalent to a bad example of a Muslim, for instance. Someone who's really irrational and bigoted and violent-minded. That's what Thunderfool is. And, you might say, well, the religious people, they have these views that you can't shake. They seem to be immune to logic and reason. And that, they won't listen to what you say. If you tell them, it's just not possible that there's a God, they won't listen to you. And that makes them fundamentally inferior. Well, actually, I have seen atheists behave in the exact same way. For instance, I can prove, using some pretty sound logic, that Thunderfool is, or has been, I don't know if he's still doing this, but he has been actively promoting genocide. And one of the more obvious examples of this was when he said that Muslims will get what they want for the rest of the world, and focused in on the word Holocaust. Now, people who defend Thunderfool, I could tell them that all day long. Won't affect their thinking one bit. Totally immune to logic, totally immune to reason. Because they just will not accept that someone who they idolize could actually be advocating genocide. They just won't accept it any more than a Christian would accept that Jesus was just a guy from Galilee. They just won't do it. And like I said, this is just another example of how we're all basically the same. Evil is inside ourselves, and nobody is special. We're all fallible, and all alike in a lot of ways. Thanks for watching.